All right, so we are moving right along here. And now that we have the base of the Angular app started, it's time to start creating the front end for our application. So I'm actually running the live version of the application that we showed at the beginning of this section, just to kind of recap what we're going to build out here. So we have this very simple page, but this simple page is made up of a few components. So this main outside task is what we call the task component. So we're not using the main app component at all here, only to include our main task component. And that's because what if our main application was made up of other things, like a task, maybe like a navigation bar, maybe like a footer, maybe a right side section to show some like documentation or whatever. That's the kind of stuff that we would enter into our main app component and build off from there using subcomponents. So we're starting a completely new component called tasks, and inside that task component we're going to have two more. We're going to have a add task component, which is going to handle the responsibility for adding a new task. And then we're going to have a task list component, which is going to handle the responsibility for going out and getting the lists of tasks and displaying them here. And then when we add a new task, there's going to be communication between the two to make sure that this list is updated. So with that, let's actually start and create all the different components that we're going to need in our Angular application. If we look at the documentation for the Angular CLI, if we go down to ng generate, we can see all the different blueprints that are available for us to generate. And one of those are components. And so that's exactly what we want to do here, is generate a new component. If we come back one, we can actually use a shorthand for this, and I'll show you that as well. So let's go back to the app. Again, I'm going to just bring up this terminal from here. I'm in the actual Angular application, and we see our app folder here. So what I want to do is ng generate. So we can either say generate full, and I can say component, or I can actually get real short with this and just say nggc. So ng generate component, and the first one we're going to call is tasks. So this is going to generate the CSS, the HTML, a spec for testing, and the actual component module. So now if we come up in here and refresh this, we have a task component. So now what we want to do is actually create two subcomponents within task. And it's pretty similar. We're just going to say nggc, and then we're going to go inside of tasks. So tasks, and then this is going to be tasks add. So we'll do that. And then we're going to do that again, and tasks list. So now if we refresh this, we have our tasks add and our tasks list. So we've actually haven't done anything yet to kind of start working on these, but that's what we're going to do coming up. In the next lesson, we'll start to build out this Angular application and start making things work. So I'll see you in the next lesson.